Good evening. Good evening to you guys. Good evening to every single one of you. How are you guys? How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News and America's Voice News. Good evening to everybody. Hope that you guys are doing great. We are driving right now to a certain particular part of the wall over here in one of the parts of Tijuana. Before going live at YouTube, I would like to invite everybody to my channel at YouTube, and you can become a member and receive exclusive content at YouTube. We are about to, today we're going to do a video with members only at YouTube for everybody that has subscribed to my YouTube channel and become a member. Today we're going to do a exclusive video for you guys. Good evening to everybody. Hope that you guys are doing great on this Saturday. As an article was released by the United Nations, a statement are released by the United Nations saying, oh my God, this is crazy, saying that the fault of the division and how riots have escalated, and the way that riots have escalated, and the way that, you know, this division and the continuous assaults on businesses, on the United States, it is because of the United States government has not reacted as quick as possible. Wow, the United Nations is saying that. The United Nations, the organization that is paying Antifa to divide countries, not only in the United States of America, but over here in my country of Mexico, excuse me, they were doing exactly the same thing. And what is your YouTube channel? It's called Oscar Blue, exactly as this one. And the United Nations, an organization that is not talking about the enormous child trafficking that is occurring, and, you know, and with their globalist compact of immigration. The United Nations, the one that is not saying anything about the threats of Iran and Iraq through the United States. The United Nations, the one that is not saying anything about Russia, how they are feeding artillery to Iran and Iraq so they can feed Hezbollah. The United Nations, the one that is not saying anything about China and the Chinese virus, and also the United Nations, the one that is not talking about absolutely nothing about the technology of the 5G, how it is, you know, going to be implemented to have control of the population. The United Nations has the audacity right now to make a statement and to say to everybody that is because of the United States government that it is their fault for the humongous division, and to not reacting quickly to stop the protests or the racial oppression by the United States government. They're saying that the United States government has been acting slow, that they are not capable of reacting quicker to the oppression and to the police brutality and the abuse of power from the law enforcement. Wow. That is what the United Nations is saying. Unbelievable. The United Nations, an organization that is completely disorganized. An organization that is not organized, that is disorganized. An organization that is not an organization. For God's sake, you are not fixing nothing. You are absolutely not fixing anything. since the United Nations started, it has not fixed anything coming from the globalist compacts of immigration. The United Nations has not fixed anything in regarding to the immigration factor in the migration situation worldwide. And now the United Nations is saying that the United States government it is acting slow, and they are not reacting quicker to the oppression of abuse of power and police brutality. Since when have you, United Nations, reacted to Iran and Iraq feeding Hezbollah with artillery? Since 2012, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, told you guys that Iran and Iraq were feeding Hezbollah, and you didn't do anything. Absolutely nothing. You know about the enormous trafficking of children that is occurring in caravans, in migrant caravans. And you know about the enormous trafficking of children that is occurring in all the borders. And you haven't done anything. And now, you release a statement saying that the United States government has acted slow in terms of attacking or getting the problem fixed in situations of police brutality and abuse of power. Holy smokes. Wow. Wow, United Nations. Wow. I don't agree at all at your statement, but the most important thing right here is that the audacity, the no shame at all statements by the United Nations, the absolute disgrace of making statements that other countries are not fixing the racial oppression or, quote unquote, the police brutality or abuse of power. And you have the responsibility, supposedly, to create a globalist compact of immigration, to provide security for migrants, for a better life and better education and a better comfort of life. You create a globalist compact of immigration that it has failed, that is broken, that a lot of people have died, that you have created a globalist compact of immigration where there's a lot of trafficking of children, guns, trafficking of organs, trafficking of women. You have created all of this. And now you're talking about the United States of America is not fixing the problem of racial oppression or police of power and police brutality. I will tell you something. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. And fix what you have done to be broken. The globalist compact of immigration. A compact that is broken and is failure. The globalist compact of the environment. I see exactly the same. There's no global warming. I see exactly the same. The globalist compact now of education. Broken also. What you have done under the wing of George Soros. What has been done under the wing of George Soros in this past 4 years. This past 4 years, name me 3 things that the United Nations has done that has provided security, peace. Not only security and peace, but that's provided life and unity to the world. Name me 3 things, George Soros, that you have provided to the world. And I can provide you 3 that you have done to complicate the existence of the world. Number 1, you have defended and created a smokescreen for all the communist and socialist countries that they're advocating for anarchism and also for absolute destruction of sovereign nations and sovereignty of the world. You have done that. You have created globalist compacts that have not even helped anything. Have you asked the opinion of real migrants? What do they think about your United Nations? Have you asked about what do they think about the World Health Organization, about the International Commission of Human Rights? What do they think about that? Have you asked them what do they think about you? They don't like you at all because you promised them that you were going to help them, that you were going to migrate them, that you were going to pay everything for them. And you haven't fixed squat, nothing. Look at this. I'm going to change the camera for you to look. Look, this is a wall. You told them to come and migrate. You, United Nations, told them to come and migrate and that everything was going to be open. You told them that it was going to be open borders. Look, does it look open? Does it look that there's a front door where it says, welcome migrants from all across the world. This is the United States. Everything's for free. Do you see that right here? Do you actually see it? No, it does not have a sign. Right? Does not have a sign, and it does not have a door open where it says, this is free. And what you have done, United Nations, is lie to the people. Creating globalist compacts of immigration and education and the environment. Why you have never told all these people that if you're going to migrate, there is a process to enter. There is a front door. There is a way to migrate. Why you haven't told anybody that there is a process? And now you're complaining about the United States of America that they're not fixing things quickly in terms of police brutality and abuse of power. That is what you're saying to me? Really? This right here? Why you haven't said anything about this? Creating globalist compacts of education to indoctrinate our children to forget about history of our countries. Why you haven't said anything about that? Look at this. I'm just waiting because you just made a statement right now. And the statement is pretty clear what you're saying. And the statement of the United Nations this morning is saying that the United States of America is not doing enough to provide security for Americans in terms of police brutality and abuse of power. Before you release statements like that, United Nations, I'm asking you this kind of questions. Where is your help to all these migrants that they're migrating from Africa? 9 countries they're migrating, going through trafficking of children, trafficking of women, drug cartels, kidnappings, killings, seas, mountains, and deserts. That globalist compact that you created of immigration sounds correct. If you're asking for the United States government to answer your questions. Wouldn't it be nice if you answer the questions of the world and of all these people that you have complicated their lives by creating a lie just to destabilize borders and just to make look the United States of America like it's racist, like it's a fascist, like it's a narcissist? Why are you not answering all those questions first? My question is to you. And number 3 that you have done. Absolute division. I will say like this. Absolute division. Everything that you are projecting that conservatives are doing, everything that you are projecting that the right-wing people are doing, everything that you are projecting that all the people that they're against your ideology or your way of thinking, you are doing it. You're the one that is causing division in the world. You're the one that is not helping people in the world. Why you haven't said anything about the 72,000 unaccompanied children that they were found in these parts, on these borders, crossing to the United States of America without their real parents? Why, United Nations, you haven't said anything about unaccompanied children, fake marriages? Why? Fake families. Why? You haven't said anything about it. Why? You are the one that is causing division. You are the one that is paying all these Antifa punks and all these activists that they're destroying right now Washington, D.C., Minneapolis, Kenosha, Wisconsin. You are the demonic organization. Why you're not answering questions from the world, and why do you expect that the United Nations, that the United States is going to answer your questions? That's what you expect? That the United Nations now, the United States now, it's obligated to answer your question, United Nations? You think that the United States government gives a damn about what you say, what you ask? Do you think so? Why you haven't said anything about this? I will tell you something. United Nations and all the people that they work for the United Nations that I have confronted in front of their faces, all these leftist nonprofit organizations, ACLUs, all these ONGs, all these organizations, I will ask you and I will tell you something. Before you open your mouth, make sure that you already clean your mouth. Because believe me, if you're going to accuse the United States government of not acting quicker and not acting quicker to the police brutality issue or abuse of power, wash your mouth first. Because you haven't fixed nothing on poverty. You haven't helped nothing on child trafficking, on human smuggling, and drug trafficking. You have created chaos with your globalist compacts and agreements with 154 countries. You have caused division. You are protecting socialist and communist countries. You are protecting Iran and Iraq, that they're filtering and also feeding artillery to Hezbollah. And also, you haven't said nothing about Russia feeding Iran and Iraq with also they're feeding Hezbollah with artillery. You haven't said anything about the Chinese Communist Party. You haven't said anything about the country of Venezuela with socialist dictator Nicolás Maduro doing military drills with North Korea. And you want to talk about the United States of America not acting quick in terms of police brutality and oppression of power, when you have gigantic problems in the world like nuclear weapons of North Korea, the Chinese government trying to take over of the Chinese Sea where there's more than 3.37 trillion euros of trade per year, and you are telling me that you're more concerned right now of what is happening in the United States of America in terms of abuse of power and police brutality, when you got all of these problems that you haven't fixed? How is that logical? How is that logical that child trafficking is not important to you? More than 72 unaccompanied minors were found in all the 6 states that connect from Mexico to the United States of America and all the borders. How is that not important? Do you know why it's not important? Do you know why, United Nations? I'm still waiting on all the leftist radicals right here, liberals, to give me 3 things that the United Nations have done positive for the world in the last 4 years. 3. Just give me one, for God's sake, and let me elaborate on that one. Do you know why you don't care about child trafficking? All of a sudden you're supporting now the Vatican? Wow. You're supporting the Vatican? The Pope? With the Globalist Compact of Education? The Globalist Compact of Education created by the Vatican so they can provide minors the liberty under a parent or a legal adult, a letter that says you can travel with them. Wow. You're supporting that, right? And your surveys, United Nations, that you have done and that I did a program about it, your surveys are for global economy, questions of global economy, global security, terrorists, global terrorists, and also immigration. Do you know when you finish your survey, what do you do, United Nations? It brings you to another page where is a registered page. And do you know the ages, United Nations, that you're putting right there to get registered people and to keep track of all these individuals? You put a disgusting box that it says 15 years of younger. Is that right? Can you answer me a question? What does a 15-year-old know about global economy, global security, global terrorism? What does he know about it? What is a 15-year-old know about global economy, global security, global terrorism? In a box that your surveys that you're doing, it says 15 or younger. "15 or younger." I'm still waiting for your answers because you're accusing the United States of America of not fixing the problem straight, like right away, of the police brutality and abuse of power. And also, I'm still waiting on the next box that you're putting on your surveys, that you put 16-year-olds and 30-year-olds. From 16 to 30, you can answer that question. What is your age between 16 and 30? So you're incentivizing to make people understand that a 16-year-old belongs in the category as an adult. But you're asking questions and you're accusing the government of the United States of America of not fixing the problem of police brutality and abuse of power, right? Right? Can you answer me these questions, please? You know what? I have confronted people from the Commission International of Human Rights. I have confronted them. I have confronted people from the United Nations and organizations also, right in their face. I have told lawyers, what the hell you're doing over here? You don't have a legal permit in Mexico to work and you are from the United States. You're a lawyer from the United States. what the hell you're doing over here. You don't have a right to be over here. You're violating our Constitution. Article 33 of the Constitution of Mexico. You're not supposed to be over here. You're working illegally and incentivizing and instigating migrants to cheat on a loophole to cross to the United States of America. That's what you're doing. When is the United Nations? Now let me ask this question. To all the people that they follow the United Nations and that they support the United Nations and that they are, for the United Nations. Let me ask you this question. That you are all the time asking questions and, projecting what you're doing, and you're projecting to the world what you're doing. But let me ask you this question. Before you start accusing other governments and other countries, when are you going to answer our questions? When? When are you going to answer our questions? When? When are you going to answer our questions? If I have a question, and if you put in a survey that has globalist questions, I want to know, when are you going to answer my questions or the questions of the world? You know when? You're never going to answer them. That's why, people, defund the United Nations and prosecute George Soros. Defund the United Nations and prosecute George Soros. One last time, for all the leftist liberals and all these Antifa punks, defund the United Nations and prosecute George Soros. He is a violent, evil, demonic man that is only destroying humanity. That is what he's doing. All the countries need to stop funding the United Nations and prosecute that demonic man. God bless you guys. God bless you guys. I will be doing a live feed later on this afternoon at YouTube with our members. Only our members. I will be doing a live feed over there at YouTube. If you want to become a member and get exclusive content, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. It's Oscar L. Blue. Also, you can follow my page at Facebook as Oscar L. Blue. God bless you all. You can follow also my partner, Conservative Anthony, at his page in Facebook as Conservative Anthony, and also and his YouTube channel as Conservative Anthony. God bless you all. Stay safe, and like we always say, peace and love, everybody, because always your country's first.